فيا أيها القاري به متمسكا مجلا له في كل حال مبجلا. بسم الله، الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to Tajweed podcast. This is another presentation for Makharij al-Lisaan, the articulation points of the tongue. My name is Khalid Abu Shafa, and I will begin in this video presentation the Makhraj of the Dal and Ta. The articulation of the letter Dal and the letter Ta, they mainly come from the same Makhraj, which is using the tip of the tongue. And as we can see here in this slide, that the tip of the tongue touches behind the incisors, the gums, and produces that sound. But there is a difference between the ta and the dal. Of course, when we pronounce the dal and the ta, as they come from the same makhraj, the difference is the quality, which is called the sifa or the sifat, the qualities that will differentiate and will make the ta different than dal. What we see in this slide is that the makhraj of the dal uses the same point of articulation as the ta. But the only difference, as you can see, the air comes flowing, comes to the point of articulation and stops where the point of articulation of the letter dal, as we can see here, but there is no air coming after that, which means it stops and make that sound very, very strong. So the sound stops within its makhraj, within its point of articulation, by saying ad, ad, ad. So as you can see, there is no air coming at all. So the air comes from the throat and comes from the side of the cavity of the mouth, the oral cavity, and then stops there where is the makhraj. The articulation of the ta is the same as the dal. We see that the air flows, also comes from that from the back and from the cavity, goes through, hits the where we have said the makhraj of the dal is the same, but the only thing that the air flows, goes out, not like the dal, it goes out of the mouth. And we can see that by, if we pronounce the dal, it stops completely. Ad, ad. And look at the ta. At, at. And if you put your hands just close to your mouth by sounding ad, ad, there is no air coming. But if you say the ta, of course this is in Arabic language, you would say at. You feel that the air is coming, and that is the quality of the hems, which is in Arabic language is a quality which we're gonna have a look, of course, in details after the Makharij video presentations. So it's called the quality of hems, which means in Arabic language linguistically means whispering, but it means this, the ta, the letter of the ta is in the same way is strong, but needed more air, more flowing to be pronounced powerfully. So it's say at, at. So whatever the letters that require more strength and more air to come, such as ah, af, as, you can see that the air is coming out. But when we compare it into other letters, that huruf al-shidda, that the letters of they are powerful and strong, the sound remain within the point of articulation, such as ad, at, aq. So as you can see, the sound stops there. And this is the letter in this slide, letter ta. The ta is slightly, they use the same makhraj, of course, dal and ta. But the only thing that the ta and the dal, they call them the letters of infitah. Infitah in Arabic means opening, but we're going to see also more in details. These are the sifat and the qualities soon as we finish physically talking about the makharij and about the points of articulations. The infitah means the opening. The tongue does not use all the sides and the middle part of the tongue. That if it uses, it's called al-itbaq. Al-itbaq is to bring two layers together and you make that itbaq. Atbaqa shay'a ala shay means to bring a layer upon a layer, but this one is to bring the sides of the tongue, or the middle part of the tongue goes to the roof of the mouth, as well as the tip, which is called the ra's. It goes to the roof of the mouth, and where exactly the makhraj of the dal and the ta, the same thing, but using that middle part goes up slightly. That is called the itbaq, and this is differentiate between the dal and the ta. So you would say at, at. And by the way, the ta is one of the strongest letters of Arabic language. One of the strongest letters of all the makharij and all the letters of Arabic language, and the weakest would be the ha. So the strongest is the ta in pronunciation because it has all the strength, the power, the way it sounds, the way it uses the tongue. So among the letters of itbaq, of course, there are sad and dha and dad in the same manner the ta, but the ta is the most powerful. It has qalqala, it has other qualities which we're going to see later on. So have a look, the use of the tip as well as the middle part goes to the roof of the mouth, and say at, at. The sound stops there, but there is no air coming out. But the difference between the ta is the tip of the tongue. It doesn't use all the sides of the tongue or the middle part of the tongue, but it goes with the ta, the flowing of the air. But the dal, it doesn't use as well, but there's no air. So ad, at, at. And by the way, the ta does not use at all the part which is the lips. So lips are really not for use of the letter ta. Okay, so ta, it's not, you don't have to move your lips. So some may sound by saying twa, twa, and it becomes like wow. So by using your lips to pronounce the ta, you damaging the makhraj of that, the sounding of that makhraj of the ta. The ta uses the tongue. So most of the Arabic language letters and the makharij and articulation use the inside the mouth rather than to be outside the mouth. Outside the mouth, we talk about the lips. There are only 4 letters: the fa and the ba and the mim and the waw. So let's see the next common mistakes that appear in reciting or reading some of the words in the Quran, especially when using the letters ta, ta, and dal.